The Boys, Homelander, Origin Explored. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Terry Cooper and this is Marvelous Videos. The Homelander is certainly no hero, as fans of Amazon Prime's The Boys know. Don't be fooled by his false grin. He may have Superman's powers wrapped up in Captain America-style patriotism, but Homelander is vicious and psychotic, with little respect for human life and a chip on his shoulder that is stronger than kryptonite. Imagine Clark Kent, but without the empathy and with a superiority complex and toddler-like outbursts of rage. But how would you feel if I say that the comic version of Homelander is even more disturbing and twisted? He's committed horrible acts with hardly a second's thought and zero regret. The flag-wearing superhero takes center stage in some of the comic's darkest moments, which don't exactly shy away from brutal and disturbing imagery. When it comes to the leader of the Seven, the Amazon Prime series pulls no punches. Yet even so, there are elements from the comics that have already proven too much for the small screen. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Now, let's begin. Homelander Origin. The creator of The Boys, Garth Ennis, set a pitch-black tone for his superheroes, which has transferred nicely to the TV series. Here we'll discuss a few crucial instances in his dark background, with the caveat that the following information might potentially ruin future plot elements in the show. But, judging by how the show has changed crucial narrative points, I think everyone will be more or less safe. Homelander, the worst of the worst, is placed among a cast of corrupted superheroes, of course. Before we start talking about the leader of the parodied Justice League, we have to talk about Vought International, previously known as Vought American. It's a multi-billion-dollar American company run by Stan Edgar, played in the show by fan favorite Giancarlo Esposito, probably best known for playing Gus Fring in Breaking Bad, and formerly managed by Madeline Stillwell. The business is known for creating the Seven and controlling the world's population of licensed soups. We need to talk about the company's history a bit to give you a complete idea about the organization.
Of course you know how important you are to everyone involved.
No.
Vought was developed by Frederick Vought, a Nazi scientist recruited by Hitler as a senior physician at Dachau in 1939. There, Vought conducted unethical experiments on human test subjects in order to produce Compound V, which would be used to upgrade humans into what we now know as soups. Vought eventually developed the first dosage of Compound V and created his first successful superhero, Stormfront. When Vought saw the Nazi Party's loss was inevitable, he fled from Nazi Germany, and the Allied forces transported him to the United States, where he was able to offer freshly produced Compound V to military men to help them defeat the Nazis. President Franklin D. Roosevelt pardoned him in 1944, allowing him to continue his research on Compound V, as well as giving him his own firm to accelerate the creation of the soups as an advanced race of living weapons. Stan Edgar took over as CEO sometime after Vought died and, possibly like his predecessor, would cover up any soups casualties. This kept the public believing that soups are born genetically enhanced and selected by God. Instead, Samaritan's Embrace sent Compound V to hospitals around the United States under the pretense of medical supplies. Homelander is the Seven's most well-known and popular member. This soup, who is essentially an evil version of Superman, has utilized his unique talents not only for heroics, but also for heinous crimes. Most notably, Homelander refused to help people on a crashing airliner due to the optics involved. Later in the comic, he executed a fellow team member on the Seven for failing to fall in line. Homelander's acts are a direct result of his secret origin, which played a crucial role in changing him into a monster. The actual truth of Homelander is exposed in The Boys, issue 19. It's a sharp contrast to what the public is told. While the general population thinks Homelander crash-landed on Earth and grew up much like Superman, a comic book expert shows that this is all fiction. In truth, he was created in a lab using genetic material obtained from Stormfront, who had been injected with Compound V while still a member of the Hitler Youth. He had a hydrogen bomb attached to him until they thought they could trust him. Compound V was a potent chemical created by Nazi scientists to provide humans and other species with incredible superpowers, but it came with a slew of adverse effects based on the person's physiological composition and the dosage taken. Homelander grew up with low moral standards and questionable sanity as a result of his upbringing in a paramilitary scientific lab, such as being chained to a nuclear weapon, to keep his aggressiveness and exposure to experimental substances under control. Homelander was eventually found to be a partial clone of Stormfront, having been made from her DNA, whose background as a Nazi officer may have added to Homelander's frightening nature.
He made me. And his genius made you.
As the Homelander begins his heroic career in New York City with the rest of the Seven, it becomes evident that their great strength and lack of morality frequently exacerbate calamities. Despite his initial optimism and genuine desire to do good, Homelander finds himself wreaking havoc and killing wherever he goes. Vought America shields Homelander and the Seven from the repercussions of their conduct, using their lucrative government ties, costly legal teams, and strong PR companies to cover up or whitewash their actions.
The Seven. That is our job, our honor. We are Vought.
Homelander is said to be immune to all weapons, but a nuclear bomb might be the only thing that could possibly kill him. While this doesn't excuse his terrible actions, it does provide some dimension to the character, demonstrating that he didn't turn evil overnight. It also illustrates how disturbed Homelander was throughout his adolescence. The boys receive a series of damning images in issue 40 that appear to depict Homelander engaged in heinous acts of murder, cannibalism, and necrophilia against men, women, and children. In issue 65, it's revealed that Homelander has dissociative identity disorder and may have sent the images to Billy himself, because he can't recall any of these episodes or the rape of Billy's wife. In private, Homelander exhibits symptoms of a mental breakdown, such as talking to himself in the mirror and experiencing spells of nausea. He finally decides that he is condemned regardless of the actions represented in the photographs, and resolves to give in to any intrusive thoughts that arise. This makes him even crueler, and slowly but surely, the Homelander goes from a selfish hedonist to a full-blown violent murderer and torturer. Encouraged by his increasing insanity and sadism, the Homelander begins thinking about the concept of a superhero uprising, in which he and his other phony heroes would rise up and overthrow all global governments, essentially taking over the world. He attempts to promote this message at a superhero award event, but he is scared by one of Vought America's business elites, prompting him to flee in dread. These experiences damage the Homelander's mind and morals. Okay, now it's time for the most significant revelation in this video. It could be a massive spoiler, so if you want to avoid this, now's your opportunity to skip the next 2 minutes. Ready? Okay, buckle up. The Homelander's hopes of an uprising finally come true, and he and his fellow fake heroes launch a massive attack on the White House, killing any other heroes who refuse to join them. They are all finally murdered or vanquished. Homelander is shocked to discover that his buddy Black Noir is his clone, developed by Vought America to eliminate him if he ever fell out of line after murdering the president. Unfortunately, Black Noir is even crueler and sicker than Homelander, and is actually the perpetrator of the horrors seen in the aforementioned images. Disgusted by this discovery and his illusion that he might have been a true hero all along if everyone around him hadn't been continuously manipulating him, Homelander attempts to murder Black Noir, only for the latter to kill him instead. But before dying, Homelander manages to badly injure Black Noir, wounding him enough for Billy Butcher to destroy him, avenging his wife, and putting an end to his rampage. Oof. Okay, you can continue breathing again. You all remember the pilot episode of The Boys, right? Remember when Starlight joined the Seven and was getting a tour of their tower by the Deep and was sexually assaulted by him?
Whoa, hey, look, you're gorgeous. I'm not talking about sex, just a little bit of pole smoke.
Yeah, well that was actually Homelander in the comics. Homelander shows Starlight around the Seven's tower and congratulates her on her victory in The Boys issue 3. The situation seems innocent enough until the flag-wearing Soup informs Starlight that she has to perform a sexual act on him, Black Noir, and A-Train as part of her initiation into the Seven. Yes, just like the Deep in the show, Homelander stands there with his pants down as Starlight turns around and gets shell-shocked. Homelander's wickedness knows no bounds. Furthermore, his ability to influence others who view him differently because of his public image results in an extremely unpleasant time for Starlight. In the show, Deep pays with his public image, while in the comics, Homelander faces no penalties for his acts. The Boys issue 58 uncovers Homelander and Queen Maeve's shady past. Homelander has taken advantage of more than one co-worker and not just Starlight. Homelander duped Queen Maeve into sleeping with Black Noir when they were in a relationship. Then he revealed images of the two to humiliate the Empress of the Netherworld further. Maeve confronts him, outraged but to no avail, as Homelander is not in the least bit bothered. He has no remorse for injuring Maeve and even assaults her physically when she strikes him in anger. Maeve ends her relationship with him, but the encounter traumatizes her, leading to heavy drinking and an even more cynical view. Homelander and Queen Maeve's destructive relationship isn't over yet. When Homelander approaches Maeve and Starlight in The Boys issue 63, Maeve finally stands up to him. Maeve throws Starlight to the ground and assaults Homelander. Unfortunately, her sword blade is ineffective against Homelander's impenetrable skin, and the evil Soup murders her. Could this be a foreshadowing of Maeve's destiny in the TV show? We hope not. Another twisted Homelander tale is how he tricks Soldier Boy. As you know, Soldier Boy is the commander of Payback, another superhero team in the comics. Despite this, the naive hero is desperate to join the Seven. The miniseries The Boys, Herogasm, set between issues 30 and 31, shows all of the superpowered characters congregating for a weekend of depravity, a nasty, secretive festival on a secret island for Soups. In issue 1, Homelander dupes Soldier Boy into sleeping with him as a test for joining the Seven. Homelander reminds Soldier Boy that he has failed once more, implying that this deception occurs on an annual basis. What makes Homelander so strong? As already mentioned, Homelander's wholesome image and biography were based on a falsehood. Vought America knew how deadly he and his talents were from the minute his heart began to beat. So they locked him in a silo in a remote place with a hydrogen bomb as the only way to stop him if he went rogue. It's unknown if the bomb would have even worked on the Soup, but Vought was prepared to do significant damage in order to eliminate Homelander if their training failed. But they were happy that they didn't have to use the bomb on him, which doesn't make Homelander's mysterious origin any less horrifying. However, it does explain why Vought thought it was essential to create a super weapon capable of bringing down Homelander. His powers include all the powers of Superman except for ice breath. Homelander's superhuman strength is one of his main powers. He possesses incredible strength, allowing him to overcome any opponent easily. He's practically impervious to all physical injuries, making him the most resilient of the Seven, and maybe all of the Soups. As a result, he's not only bulletproof, but also unaffected by explosives. The events of 9/11 appear to show that he is unable to employ his full strength in flight, requiring a solid surface to make use of his power during the I Tell You No Lie GI plotline. Homelander's stamina has been increased to unnatural proportions. As a result, during physical exertion, his muscles create almost no tiredness toxins. They can work at superhuman speeds or accomplish other superhuman feats for lengthy periods of time without tiring or weakening. He can also produce immensely powerful heat beams from his eyes. These energy bursts look to be powerful enough to cut through anything. Homelander is well known for utilizing his optical beams on victims, quickly melting skin and bone and causing individuals to burst into gore. He also has X-ray vision, super hearing, super smelling, super speed, flight, and super voice. His vocal cords are stronger than a normal person's, and he can shatter people's eardrums simply by shouting. Weaknesses? Well, Homelander is a man who suffers from mental illness. His intense need to be admired, along with his complete lack of empathy and moral qualms about injuring, even murdering others, shows he suffers from malignant narcissism. Is that his only weakness? Sadly, Homelander doesn't seem to have anything like kryptonite. However, in the comics, he can be stopped or killed by a Soup as strong as or stronger than him. It's unknown at the moment whether Homelander's Amazon Prime series will have a similar ending. In Season 2, Maeve partially removes Black Noir's mask to incapacitate him with almonds, indicating that he is not a clone of Homelander like his comic counterpart. We also see Black Noir's face in the third season to confirm this, but never underestimate these filmmakers. You never know how they might create a connection. Will Black Noir still play a role in Homelander's demise? Will it be Homelander's son Ryan, whose laser eyes almost destroyed Stormfront in the Season 2 finale? Or will Billy Butcher take his revenge? We'll have to wait and see. Trivia. Before we end this video, here's a piece of trivia for you guys. We all know Homelander is a parody of Superman, right? Did you know that he is a parody of Superman and Captain America? Most of The Boys' prominent Soups are caricatures of more serious and popular superheroes. The Deep is a parody of Aquaman, A-Train is a parody of The Flash, and Maeve shares many of her powers and appearance with Wonder Woman. Homelander, meanwhile, is a spoof of both Superman and Captain America. He flies through the air like the former and wears his patriotism on his sleeve like the latter. While his public demeanor resembles Cap's genuine patriotic attitude, his fabricated origin story is crafted to mimic that of Superman's actual ancestry. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed watching this, like, share and subscribe to the channel. Tell us in the comments which superhero or villain you want us to do a video of. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Happy birthday, Homelander.
Thank you. I can see your girdle, you disgusting fat fuck.